Joining us on the In Route today, very special day, we have majority owner of USL League One's Westchester SC and co-founder of Merida Capital Holdings, Mitch Baruchowitz. Thanks for coming on.
Mitch.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, we'll start you off with this. What was your soccer journey like prior to founding Westchester SC, and what experience do you have with the game?
Well, the irony is it wasn't quite a journey as much as, I've always loved soccer, and I could break out the pictures of me like at NYCFC games or at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. But in reality, I played as a youth in Long Island, but it was such a different world. It was, the whole weekends were going to a travel game, and then, my parents splitting, there were three of us. So like splitting the difference, kind of playing zone defense and getting us all over Long Island. And so I spent a lot of time sweaty in a uniform at someone else's game, right? Like my brother or sisters. But, the weekends were just filled with joy. Like you get to run around and, bang into some people, which was good for the nervous energy. And I played in high school, was recruited to play, I think like something like 300 schools. And unfortunately was playing in a men's league on a field in Northport, which is a pretty big town, a big soccer town in Long Island. I'm from Stony Brook originally. And
Sea-Wolves.
Yeah, right. And, that's Stony Brook, right. They have a good soccer team now too. But, so me and a goalie came together at the wrong time. And, similar to like the Donnarumma play in the Club World Cup, I don't know if you saw the broken ankle. I forgot whose ankle it was now. I'm totally blanking. Musiala, right. So similar to that, I was trying to like chip a goal. In your head, like someone sends me on a diagonal ball, I'm running and I'm like, oh, I'm going to like lift the ball over the goalie and I'm going to run this into the net and I'm going to do some funny like Ronaldinho thing where you head it when it's like an inch off the ground. It's a summer league game, like who cares? And I guess all that thought process slowed me down because me and the goalie got there at the same time. There was no lift and it was like just big thud in the ground and my foot never really was the same ever since. So.
Wow.
Jeez. So there goes the soccer career. But I did play tennis in college, so I rescued my athletic, regimen.
Wow, that's glad my career didn't end like that. But
yeah,
that stinks. But what was your inspiration to found Westchester SC? What was the defining moment where you said to yourself, you know what, I'm gonna do this and I can do this?
Yeah, there's not like one moment. I've answered this question, and I'm sure it's very unsatisfying when you're looking like for that light bulb eureka moment. I think it was more obviously seeing the opportunity. Someone had sent us a deck. My partner Danny Decker sent a deck that like was called 212 FC, which was about bringing soccer to Westchester, but USL. But there was really nothing there other than this framework. But before that, I'd really looked into bringing a professional sports team in some way, maybe a padel team, like something exciting that would get some cachet in Westchester where people love paddle or love tennis. But what really, for me, it was looking around Westchester on the field with my kids, right? Coaching them in soccer, and every week realizing how much time Westchester parents devote to their kids' love of soccer, right? And I remember my son, when he was like 6, my older son, Braden, who works in the team, when I took him off, like I subbed him out of like a 3-on-3, like, kindergarten game. And he like punched me on the way off the field and some other dad goes, did your son just punch you as he was leaving the field? I go, yeah. And he goes, man, I wish my kid loved soccer that much.
Wow.
It was like, cause he didn't want to get subbed out of this 3-on-3 where everyone plays like equal amounts. And, just those experiences kind of conditioned me to everyone in Westchester in some way, shape or form touches soccer, whether their kids play it or, and just knowing that this was such a fertile landscape of that, and that I've really always wanted to do something bigger. Like I love Westchester, right? And it's always like, whoa, I always thought it was upstate when I lived in Long Island, growing up as a kid. And then it's like, it's 20 miles north of, Midtown Manhattan. So maybe it's not quite upstate. And just knowing, and people asking like, what is Westchester known for? And it's like, oh, it's a beautiful place to live. And so having something that could unify the sports energy, we all go to MetLife to watch the Jets or Giants, and Yankee Stadium or Citi Field, and UBS. I'm an Islander fan, which is terrible. No one has season tickets in Westchester anymore because you can't get there before like the puck drops at 7:00.
Yeah.
So just those experiences were like, it's so difficult And I think that dissuades people from going to as much professional sports as they love here. This is like a sports crazy place, but it's really a soccer crazy place, which is why our tagline is Soccer County. So there was never like a moment, Damien, it was more like, hey, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
And good ideas that don't have like red flags and launching as quick as we did might be the biggest thing that's really the eureka. Like, hey, we can get on the field in 25 before the World Cup and take advantage of the Club World Cup and the momentum and all these other things. But really, there was never one moment. It was just like a conflagration of all these great ideas and being surrounded by people that love soccer, and people in Rye love, everyone plays soccer, and there's a bunch of former women's, high-level women's soccer players. Sarah Hess played on the national team, and I remember meeting her years ago at like a camp thing for our kids. So I just knew that it could be interesting, but the truth is, I didn't realize it could. Now that I walk in the stadium, it brings tears to my eyes to think that like in a year what we've built, and that people are out there cheering in the last game when we tied the game in the 65th minute, and people were screaming. It's like, okay, we're getting somewhere. This is like the joy. You're watching a parent stare at their kid eating ice cream and it's going all over the place in 95 degrees, and you're like, there's got to be some joy here that we're creating. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's actually very impressive, and you're right, because in Rye they're very passionate. I mean, the Harrison Rye rivalry is just like it's.
I wish I could get that many people to come to one of our games.
Right?
Yes, like 12,000 people a game.
It's unbelievable. My cousin played for Harrison, and that's what he always tells me: beat Rye. It's like, wow, okay.
I mean, it's called one thing, right? You see a shirt in Westchester that says the game on it, it's Rye Harrison. Yeah. And that's what informed me. It's like, I remember the first time when I first moved to Rye, like there was a random, October Saturday, I'm going for my run, and I'm like, why are there tents set up and cops and people drinking at like 7:45 in the morning? Like,
why are there people in the water?
Yeah, well, that's after the game, right? But I was like, what is going on? That there's like Georgia, Florida has moved to like the Northeast, and then someone's like, oh no, it's the game. And I just moved, like we just moved in the summer, so like it didn't occur to me, and my kids were young, so I was like, what is the game? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then the people jump in the river, and there's like a fist fight because you jump in our river or we jump in your river.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it's like, but then we won it for like 20 years straight, and it got a little, but now it's good again. Yeah. But I have to throw a little shade at Harrison over there.
No, go for it. I love it.
Harrison, come to our soccer games. I'll make it up to you. Okay?
No, I love it. It's great. Yeah. But you have an impressive list of minority owners, including USMNT midfielder Tyler Adams and New York Jets quarterback Tyrod Taylor. What does it mean to you to have these athletes, invest in your vision? Yeah.
Well, Tyrod and I go back a bunch of years. We've done some business together before. And he's just such a high character individual who, he's a guy that doesn't matter if he played for weeks or for months. He steps on the field and it's just like, you're getting a gritty, intentional leadership type performance. And, he's had some unluck with injury. Remember the Chargers where he hurts his shoulder and, they give him the shot in the wrong place but he's always led with like integrity and character. He loves soccer. He has this fashion brand, Diazzo, so he loves Italy, Milan Fashion Week. Like, don't even get him started on Fashion Week in Paris and Milan. Like, he loves that stuff. So for him, soccer and, the chance to, like, play around with the ethos of a different sport was really exciting to him. And, and he has a foundation in Virginia where if we ever play close by, like, we'd love to do something. Tyler's a totally different story. He is in this sport in America from Wappingers, like, he is one of the real royalty, of current men's national team famedom. And his dad and him and his brothers, they own the Hudson Valley Hammers, which is a USL2 team. So the connectivity, which is everything to us. The ability to look at players, but also get deeper, like instead of trying to learn everything ourselves, using the knowledge of people who've played and grown up. Tyler used to go, an hour and a half to Red Bull's academy because there was no Westchester. So being able to like bring something that actually informs his history and his challenges, like had there been a Westchester back then, the ability to play at every level, start in our academy at 10 or 11 years old, maybe get recognized by an MLS academy, maybe not. Maybe you play till you hit the USL Pro team when you're 17 or 18. For him, his journey was Red Bulls and then RB Leipzig, and obviously he's now a star at Bournemouth. But him and Daryl, his dad, they are so knowledgeable about everything going on. In fact, our vetting of one of our players, Samori Powder, who played on their team, and so did Noah Powder, the brothers, who are from Maplewood, New Jersey, Daryl, they were on his team. So the ability to assess and get, guidance from people who have lived it and have walked the walk and have played at the highest level of US. When we talk about things like promotion, relegation, and the future of US soccer, I mean, who understands it better than Tyler, who's living it while playing in Europe? And also, obviously, the ability to sell people to European teams and develop better talent. That's the dream, right? If you look at the 3 to 5 year plan, it's really developed this underpinning of practice facility and first team kind of flagship facility, develop amazing youth talent from the whole region, which is a soccer crazy region. I mean, our tagline is "Welcome to Soccer County," right? And it's funny because just at the game last Wednesday, there was someone up who lives in Bronxville that works for a bank in the city. They were coming up just to see what we're doing and maybe do a sponsorship or something. And the first thing the guy said is "Look, Westchester is Soccer County," and I'm like, we already do that on a commercial. You cannot. We tried to trademark it 6 months ago, buddy. So don't even think you're giving us ideas for that. And he's like, I know, I saw the video. But it is. I mean, when you think of Westchester, you think of athletics in general, and
oh yeah, tons of talent.
And then you think of soccer.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, completely. And we are with majority owner of Westchester SC, Mitch Baruchowitz. And as majority owner, you've been very active in the community and out in front in the promotion of your club. I believe there's a video from ESPN. I think you called out Ryan Reynolds at one point.
Yeah, that's a funny story. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You have to. I love Westchester. I really do. I love. I remember last year before we even launched, and people thought we were a youth club or something. We would set up a table at Rybrook or Ridgefield in Connecticut, the tournament there, and you can see the pictures of me and these kids that are helping us set up the tent, because me and my son had never set up the soccer tent. It was windy and it was blowing everywhere, and these kids holding it down. It's to me, it's the true joy. It's your kids grow up, but the ability to help other parents just tap into that joy of soccer and sport and being present. And it's if I could relive that a million times with my own kids, I would. But instead, I get to sort of augment what other families. So I really love being out front and doing these things. It's the joy of life for me. It's the easiest part of the job is being out front. Now, some things that we do embarrassing, the t-shirt gun, and I'm trying to have fun with it. And I think that a lot of times people think of this, you're an owner, there should be a gravitas, but I don't view that at the level we're at and the way we're growing and the kind of ethos that we're bringing as a very connected, community-focused team. It's why not? So the Ryan Reynolds thing is one of my partners, Jordan, who runs our Game Day Experience, used to be involved in the management of the Barclays Suites when Barclays first opened. And I guess Ryan attended a concert or a game and left a beautiful pair of gloves and this beautiful jacket behind. And Jordan just had it, tried to, get it back to him at some point, but it's not the easiest person to connect to. And he was telling me the story, and I'm like, Ryan lives 20 minutes north of our stadium. He, compared to me, he is the most famous soccer owner in Westchester by a mile. So let's just close the loop. We're all about community. He says he grew to love soccer more than anything. There's professional soccer right in his backyard. He can help us. He can show his true love for it and also his understanding of how much he went through at Wrexham. The stuff that you don't see on camera, the grit, how much the losses hurt. I understand that, right? I understand everything that goes on in this Wrexham, because behind the scenes, the work that has to go in to really shape everything you do. And, him and Rob are so intentional about the things they do. And so they manage their images so carefully because they're big stars, whereas I don't have to really do that. So for us, I wore the jacket with the jersey on. I said, hey, you're the most famous owner in Westchester County. And, why not get out here? Now, no one's responded yet, although I feel like he must have seen it because a lot of people added him. So we're gonna stay cheeky, but we're gonna amp it up a little bit, and there might be maybe our coach is gonna wear it out to the bench one day, or that jacket's gonna be the
is it the victory jacket?
The weekend at Bernie's where they just carrying them around everywhere, and you're gonna see that jacket in some strange places. Maybe it ends up in in Rockland on top of a lighthouse or something, but we're not going to stop till Ryan just says, like, look, you love soccer. Come on, man. Like, just come and see what we're bringing. Like, give me your feedback as someone who has done one of the most incredible things ever in England. How about just looking at what we're doing locally?
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's just a fun thing. And, I know he's a busy person and we're nothing to them, but like, to me, it's at least you got to try. And we're
seems
trying.
like a fun, he seems like a fun guy. I can see him. I can see him, jumping. I could see him jumping in at some point when when he has time. I could see it happening.
Sure, hopefully.
And, I've been to the stadium in Memorial Field. I've been there for a match, and like, actually, funny story. We were online at the food trucks, and I don't know, one of the front office people came up to my stepkids, and they're like, "Hey, you want to be a ball boy?" And I'm just like, okay, I guess this is happening. Right. And he was a ball boy for the entire game. It was like, it's an awesome family friendly experience.
Amazing.
And like, that's a huge deal, And
probably like a soccer team didn't show up with the right amount of people or something. And then you have to teach the ball boys, like, look, don't be juggling the ball at the side. In fact, when we were in Knoxville this weekend, me and my son were laughing about these two kids were having a kick, the two ball boys. Yeah. And I'm like, well, if it's like the 90th minute and the ball comes flying out, these two kids are not even going to be aware that they should get the ball quickly back in. Like, they're just doing their own thing. I think that ability to really touch the players and be up close and personal, that's kind of what that Goldilocks we're shooting for, which is the most, just this fun professional atmosphere, but also a connection to the players, a community focus, this real, nothing's too small or too big. Like, just give people an amazing 2 to 3 hours, 17 times a summer, and then see what happens. And that's what we're trying to do. And I'm glad you had that like little experience, because you never know. We shoot T-shirts into the crowd. We want people to go to watch parties. Like, we want people to invest in us because we're really focused on bringing an incredible experience to for every game. And improving it game by game, week by week, and learning, using that white space on the eastern side of the field to maybe provide like some type of hospitality or VIP experience, which, so corporations, like, really this 360-degree spectrum. We look after every game, we do like a kind of download of like, what could we have done better? And, every like owners that have been to the stadium have also given me tips, and I go to most of the away games, or I think I missed one so far, just to like see how other people are doing things. And I have like deep conversations with all the staff, and it's just trying to learn and be humble and do the right thing. Like every game where I see new people not wearing gear at the beginning, I'm so excited, because that means that they haven't been there yet. And then it's also humbling when people come and actually when people come and are wearing the gear, like as a family for you, like, gosh, we did this from scratch. Huh? This is a very tough market where people will be jaded. You're never going to get on the field. I talked to my friend who I played in a futsal league last year a few times, and one guy was like, oh yeah, everyone was like, they're never going to get on the field. And then this year, a few of them came back this year and were like, oh no, I went to 2 games already. It's amazing. And it's like, that's what I want. I want people, I don't want them to be shocked that it's amazing, but I just want them to give us a shot and like spend 3 hours, talking with your kids about soccer instead of watching them play soccer. And I think we made a bunch of mistakes early in the season. We played day games on weekends. Everyone's playing travel soccer. You're asking someone to like go to Long Island. And, like, we're going to fix that for next year. We'll figure that out. And having 6 straight weeks of home games might be a little bit like much to ask. But it was really cool. We went to Pittsburgh. We played Pittsburgh the same week the Mets were there. So on our flight were a bunch of Mets 7th, the 7 crew who go the 7 crew. I forgot what they're called. The
7-Line Army.
7-Line Army, right?
Nice.
And we're Met fans. I'm sorry, Met fans. I don't know how I just blanked on that, but I'm thinking soccer right now. And
914 infantry, baby.
Yeah, right, exactly. 914th Infantry. So I said, hey, have you heard about soccer team we're going to be playing? And one guy's like, you know what? Maybe we'll go to the day game and you guys tonight. And it was like, because the guy's like, oh, we mean to. We live in like, I don't know, Baychester or something like that. And that's like, if you're in the Bronx, we're a 10-minute ride from most of the Bronx.
And you don't have to cross the bridge.
That little bridge over the swamp next to Co-op City. Yeah. I don't know if that counts as a
It's
bridge.
free. It's free.
It's the worst speed trap in '95, basically. But
yeah, right. That line. You're right.
yeah. So, but that's what we're trying to do. So your experience, Anthony, is what we want. We want people to be like, man, that was intimate, but it also felt like pro soccer, and that's and the quality. The one thing I hear from everyone is, this quality is much higher than I thought it would be. That's what I hear. That the quality on the field is much higher.
Yeah, I mean, my fiance, she's she's actually an owner. Like, I know you have the ownership stake. She purchased a little ownership stake, and we've been to a couple matches. We go to NYC games, and there isn't as big of a drop off as you would think from MLS to USL, and it's comparable, and you see it actually because they're playing when they're playing the tournament. NYC got bounced by Pittsburgh. It's the quality is there.
But
not the full team, but still enough of the starters where it's
well, the biggest difference probably from the MLS to us is the consistency of excellence, right? I think if you just stuck let's call it a middle of the roster MLS player on a USL field, let's say a USL championship team, maybe like a Rhode Island that has a really, they're spending real money on their players, and they're like what I would consider, them, Louisville, or they're a great franchise. I mean, most of the USL championship teams at this point are really well constructed franchise. So if you stick a random, 12th, 13th, 14th player in the MLS on a USL roster, he wouldn't just jump out. I obviously put a top roster guy or a mess. Okay, fine. But if you put a middle roster guy, he wouldn't just jump out right away. You would notice over time that all of the training methods and all of the effort that he had to get to the top of that level has made him a consistent player, play by play. So whereas a USL guy might make a difficult trap and turn 8 out of 10 times, the MLS guy's 9. And that one time makes a big difference at scale, right? And so I think the consistency, but from the goal JC scored, I don't know which games you've been to, but the 70-yard goal, doesn't matter what league you're in. To hit a ball 70 yards on a line over a guy's head that lands in the net on a fly is not some random, artifact of a little bit of training. That is a high skill play. The goal JC scored against Knoxville this week. Samori Powder's strike against Richmond, in week 4. Though you hit a 30-yard strike, it doesn't matter what level you're watching. That's fun to watch, right? I watch clips of USL 2 games, and when I see a great goal, I get that little butterfly feeling. I mean, it's so you're right. It's not just the competitive level, and what I love about the USL is also very young. So you actually get this really deep effort every game. If you're up by 1, and we've given up a lot of leads, unfortunately, it's because teams don't stop. There's energy and effort until the final whistle. And whereas an MLS team, if they get 2-0 and it's the 88th minute, you might get a little bit one team's just knocking it around and wasting time. You get that at the highest professional levels, and you're in the USL. It's let's keep scoring. So
let's keep playing.
I love that kind of that level of commitment to continuing to move forward, even if you're up by 2-0 with in the 80th minute or something.
Right. That's great. And it's kind of reminiscent of the old Joe DiMaggio quote. It's I give my best all the time because somebody is out there paying to see me play. There's a respect level to that, and it speaks to the level of community you guys are creating, and how the USL is, kind of the people's league almost. That's a great way to.
I'm writing something right now, which I'm working my way through. I'm it's a piece about how promotion relegation is really going to set off a chain reaction of events that lead to a lot of players. So more USL teams means more outposts in those second cities, right? Because you're not really going to find USL team in Midtown Manhattan. Well, there's no soccer team in Midtown Manhattan, so it doesn't really matter. But you're not going to find a major USL team in every town where there's already an MLS team, right? That's a tough competitive landscape to fight in. And so the economics don't necessarily work until you get 30,000 people in a stadium, which is more of the province of the MLS for now. But you have all these academies in these second cities recruiting and developing young talent. So someone might enter our thing at 9 years old, and then at 17 play on the first team. So you have this complete loyalty, this virtuous loyalty flywheel of youth development and playing on teams with this crest, not NYCFC or Red Bulls, and then their parents coming to games and that affinity, and then that player moving on, and you track him, but you're still going to Westchester games. And so with promotion relegation, the jeopardy, right? The chance to move up, or imagine if the Pittsburgh Pirates didn't spend money and they got demoted to the minor leagues. Like, that jeopardy in Europe brings, when Bologna moved up, when Empoli this year, those towns shut down when people get promoted, right? When Wrexham moved up, right? People crying and it's more important than the birth of their children almost. Like a 60-year fan if you watch the show. So that kind of loyalty is usually driven. Like, if you win the MLS Cup, like NYCFC, which is my team in the MLS, when they won it a few years back, like, I was happy, but the next day I kind of woke up and just like,
what about my day? Yeah.
Right? If we're potentially moving up, like, let's say we're in second place and we have a game that night to play to move up into the USL Championship or the USL Premier Division, which is coming in 28, I'd have to imagine that place is going to be stuffed to the gills of people who are just like, this game has a significance.
It's historical.
That U.S. sports has not offered me yet. And I think narratives drive interest. It's not just like good soccer, right? And those narratives, that jeopardy, that chance to have jeopardy for moving down too. If you look at European teams, even teams in last place, if there's 3 or 4 teams clustered around last place, the fans come out because they don't want to get relegated, right? So you don't see TV viewership. Like, what is TV viewership for the old Montreal Expos or Pittsburgh Pirates or the Oakland A's who are moving? Like, in soccer, you don't move towns if there's no fans, because it doesn't happen that there's no fans in European towns. And I think that's where we want to get with the USL. And I credit all the other owners who, I don't think people truly understand the significance of promotion relegation and the effect it's going to have on the American soccer fan, who's like, it's hard to ignore. Like, you have the MLS, and, I'm using a metaphor in what I'm writing about, but I'm not going to use it now because it would just sound so weird. But think of it a little bit like the British and the Americans before the Revolutionary War, right? Everyone was friends. They all worked together. And then it was like, at some point, the younger partner kind of wants to step up. That's promotion relegation, right? And all of a sudden, it's like, we're going to try something different. We're going to do our own country. It's going to be called the United States of America. And the British were like, the nerve of you guys. So, like, if you're the MLS, like, you have a great product, no doubt, amazing. You built soccer. Like, without MLS, who knows what pro soccer would look like. But promotion relegation is going to capture the imagination of that casual fan, because, like, significance. Like, if every game was Mets Yankees, the Major League Baseball's attendance would, be through the roof every game. But you'd get tired of that. But that jeopardy and that narrative, I think the USL understands that generally. But I'm not even sure the owners who just approved it understand how much that flywheel of narrative, youth development, the ability to move up incrementally from, hey, I'm a good player. I'm going to go into League One, and then I'm going to try to move up with the League One team and really excel. And then I'm going to move to the USL Championship. And that's going to get on the visibility radar of an MLS team. So you're going to find a lot of players, like the USL League One, where I'm at right now, is going to be the laboratory for that up-and-coming player. And so every so often, you're going to see a complete star shot where that guy ends up in the MLS, and people will be like, hey, that guy started in League One. And I think that with, like, oh, I watched that guy, like you, my son handed that guy a ball when he took a throw-in, right? That guy signed my scarf, and now he's in the MLS 6 years later. Like, how do you not, that origin story, like we were talking about comics before we got on, those origin stories are what make people loyal to the badge, right? And that closeness and that intimacy. And I think the USL is about to marry those things in this beautiful cocktail. Or at least that's my dream. And that's why I rushed to get a team on the field before they approved it. Because franchise fees are about to explode. The cost of bringing a first team is about to explode. So why not learn before everything explodes?
100%.
I'm not going to lie. It's been one of the most humbling years. I mean, the amount of time I've just closed my eyes and meditated on something that we're trying to do, or something, a guy getting hurt, or, you just feel for these players when they get hurt and they're so disappointed, or the losses. We've had some gut-wrenching losses. For a team that only has 20 games into it, we have been all over the spectrum, and it's extremely humbling. And I think one of the most humbling things is when you look at some of the other teams that launched at the same time we did, they were around for longer and more developed, like Maine, Portland Hearts of Pine, they're doing such an amazing job that, like, even if we're doing an amazing job by comparison, we look like, paltry. And I think, I hope that people look back at this year and say, look, they learned a lot, and Mitch and team like really learned and were humble, took the punches right in the face, and just kind of moved forward. Because it has been, there have been some real dark moments of fear and anxiety and challenge. Very hard to sleep in a hotel room after a gut-wrenching loss on the road. I didn't sleep very well in I can't even remember where this was, our last loss. It's all kind of blending together. But we had a gut-wrenching loss on the road 2 weeks ago, which I really should be remembering. Pittsburgh was tough, right? Lose 1-0 to a team a level above. But
no, it's good that you forget the losses. You got to move on. You got to move on to the next game.
I remember the feeling of not being able to sleep in the hotel room. But, it was disappointing too, where I brought in all honesty, me and my son were running out the door. We brought my younger son's passport by accident, and he doesn't have real ID. So I actually had to go. It was in Naples. I'm sorry. So in Naples, Florida,
right.
Lost, right? That was the Henderlong, beautiful goal. A game that we absolutely dominated the entire game, had the better chances all game. They entered the 18-yard box twice all game. In the first half when they scored, and in the 89th minute was the first time they'd been in the box in 48 minutes, and they scored. So to lose that game, you're sitting in the hotel room that night, and you're just like,
how?
Is this what I want to be doing for the next 25, 30 years of my life? Like, I love you, Westchester, and I want to do right by you, but gosh darn, man. Like, this is what I have to go through? No, I'm just kidding. But it hurts. And that's why when you see the parents, when you're at a home game and you see, the kids eating ice cream and the fun and the cheers and the supporters group and the drumming, kind of like makes it all worth it. It really does. Like, truthfully in my heart, it really lifts it from those dark moments.
Yeah, you can tell the passion that you have for it. You can tell the connection that you have. Like, you wear it on your sleeve like Mark Cuban does. Mm-hmm. I know, like, now, like...
Yeah, don't compare me to that guy, but no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, but, like, he was a man of the people, just like you are trying to be and are being.
Yeah.
But,
I really am a man of the people. Like, I, still walk my dogs every, I still have to do all the little mundane things. In fact, like, I'm still trying to like design shirts. Like I'm still doing a lot of this like creation design with my design team because, I'm just living it and I'll get an idea with something on the road or from another, sponsorship idea. And like, we're just a team of, I think we have 45 employees now. So we're actually getting somewhere, but the people I surround me are moms and dads that are local. We have a crazy good, young, like excited talent base of interns and also young employees, because you want that energy. And, I met the social media manager, Rachel, when I was speaking at my alma mater, Brandeis. They just did an alumni event, had 40 people, and those people had a ball. It's like, those are the moments. It's like, I just can't tell you how thankful I am that we've gotten some acceptance. And when we fill that stadium, man, the joy and excitement, it's like, I'm already enjoying it and appreciating it, but I know we can go a lot further. We can do better. And I'm just telling the people of Westchester, like, we want to give you the greatest 3 hours you could spend with your family. Like, we want it to be perfect, and we are going to do everything in our power to improve every game and every day and really, like, truthfully give you memorable moments, whether it's, the camera guy who we have at the games. I can't find it, but there's, who takes the pictures in the background. I hope you took some with your kids. To the new jerseys we're revealing, like the all black jersey we hope to reveal when the Hearts of Pine come, which, by the way,
nice.
You got to come to that game. They are a phenomenon. Like, Gabe and crew from Naples, from Hearts of Pine deserve insane credit. They have done such an incredible job of building their team. It took 5 years to get on the field. We're like the opposite of them. They were like the thoughtful, well-planned, well-constructed, and they have nailed everything they've done. We're like, yeah, let's just play in 25 and see what happens.
Well, fortune favors the bold sometimes, and currently the clubs.
Yeah.
Well, it takes time. Everything takes time.
I know, and I'm trying to be patient.
Of course. So the
Not
club's currently
from us Queens boys. We're not known for our patience,
No. No, that's for certain. You guys are currently in 12th place. You're tied with South Georgia Tormenta.
Yeah.
So I know you said a lot of sleepless
Two
nights,
wins
but
out
also
of the
some.
playoff spot, though, so.
Yeah, they'll get. Yeah, you know how it is.
We're
But
about to go on a run. We're playing very well. If you look at the last 5 or 6 games, a few moments have really sunk us, but I feel like we're playing very well. And the injuries are starting to abate a little bit. I mean, we had our center backs didn't get on the field. Our originally planned starting center backs didn't get on the field together until 5 games ago. So
got to build that chemistry. 100%.
Got to build chemistry. Yeah.
Totally. So with all this taken into account, right, and given the fact that it is, literally, less than a year from conception to reality, what would you give as a letter grade, if you were assessing it?
Different. Yeah, I would, I think that's there's probably 9 verticals that I have to grade separately, but altogether, I would give us a solid B, only because this is a market with 2 professional teams already, soccer, 40 other options on the professional sports side, a jaded, a busy, people are busy, they go to the beach. It's not like people are hey, we love soccer, let's put Westchester, we didn't have a schedule till December 20th. So season ticket sale, all those things. We've done some good things. I think our branding and the colors and the narrative around how we're tapping in, the partnership with Northwell, the team has done some great things. I mean, we have an analyst was telling me we have the 7th most amount of shots from outside the 18, but the most goals from outside the 18 by 50% more than the next. So we have scored absolute bangers. Now we've given up horrific goals. So I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if I'm bragging or if I'm disappointed, but I think we've got on the field. We've created a credible product. We've created a game day environment. Walters, hot dogs, the Taco Project, and
Taco Project.
Sebastian and crew have really, I am so. I say a B because we have embraced the soccer interested and passionate. But then we've also done, I think we start to scrape at that casual fan a little bit. And the family is look, we don't love soccer, but our kid plays and he wants to go watch it. So I think that's an area where I want to see more A's. That's probably been a C. But I think when you look at all the varying things, the fact that we have a credible team on the field, we've led the most minutes. We have led for the 2nd most amount of minutes in League One right now.
That's impressive.
So, yes, that is a terrible stat, but also an awesome stat. So, it's not all about results, but when you look at the moments that we've created for people, that JC moment that was number 1 on the ESPN top 10, now there's been some other USLs since, but some of the moments we've created are absolute A pluses, but we've also created a few Fs. So I would say B, because I think getting on the field in a year, in 1 year, and building this outreach team and a ticketing team and a marketing team and a design team and a jersey that when you're in other arenas that blue jersey is quite sharp, and the Tappan Zee bridge on the white jersey and the scarf behind me that way and the beautiful corduroy hat with the bridge behind
nice.
it, that would look good on both of you guys, you young guys. I can't wear this thing, I'd look like an idiot, but it's all the gear and the thoughtfulness and the connection to community. I think we're a solid B. I want to but to get from a B to an A is a big that's a big jump. So we definitely have a lot to do, and having people like you interested where you want to talk to us even is such a an absolute flattering moment, because there 6 months ago it was people didn't even think, they thought we were a youth team, or they were oh, is that another academy? Well, yeah, that, and also a pro team, but people didn't know what the USL is. Now I think people are starting to get a better sense of okay, this USL thing is kind of blowing up. It's a good product. It's more intimate. It's smaller stadiums, but the product is amazing. The games have incredible drama. And then you look at stadiums like Louisville, what Rhode Island just built. I mean, can't beat that. Center Bank Stadium is insane. It's beautiful. And even Hartford Stadium. I went to a game last year and the owner was gracious enough to host me, and we chatted, and Bruce Mandel and crew in Hartford, and Brett and crew in Rhode Island. I also go on the road and do that scarf thing with the other owners, because my view is the owners are the people who can mentor me in what we should be doing better. Yep. And I'm very humbly taking as much advice as possible. So B, I'd say, something like that.
That's solid. I mean, it's a solid
No self-deprecation, a true B.
And we talk about mentorship a lot on this show, and I'm glad that owners have been as gracious as they have been. You think about the business side of things, and maybe they don't give you all the necessary information that you need, or like maybe they only take certain, they only go to a certain level on it. But that's great that they have the camaraderie with you and the trust, and you guys are building that rapport. But we'll get you out here on this one. In recent weeks, we found out the USL League One's expanding, and the New York Cosmos are back again.
Right.
This time they're playing in Paterson, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay. Why New York, Paterson? Okay.
Yeah.
Now that you have a season, you have a season under your belt. Like,
yeah.
So, what can they expect?
Yeah, I'm the
You want to give them some friendly advice?
Well, here's what I would say. I think the Cosmos thing is interesting for a few reasons. Number one, it's like, it's a name at this point, right? And it doesn't mean Rocco Camiso and the Fiorentina. Like, Rocco is probably one of the greatest success stories you could ever get, right? But it's just a name. So it's a good name and it brings attention. And I think that's wonderful. And by the way, having a fan base that we can play 30 miles away, incredible. Like, we're excited about that. Is there a whiff, and Giuseppe Rossi, like, they have a real, like, their front man is a very, very accomplished soccer player. But the business side of this is tough. And I think the hardest part is building awareness. They've been around, though. Paterson, this is not some new thing. They've been around working on this for a few years. So they're not like us. Like, I didn't even know this existed till December of 23. So this was truly like a 9-month effort. They announced now, but they've been in the background working for a while, because we had heard, a bunch of stuff from the USL, maybe 6 months ago. So they've been maybe they have like a 6-year head start where we were. But so it's good. The fact that the 114th Infantry did like an FTC, which I won't say what that stands for, but there's this famous phrase about the Cosmos. I went to Cosmos games. Unless you're rolling out Pele, Giorgio Canaglia, George Best on the Tampa Bay Rowdies or whatever team, like, that was a crazy seven. That was like the 1986 Mets, right? That is not what they're bringing. So they are bringing a name that's attached to it. So the authenticity of it is different. Now, the fact that they would go and do something knowing that people might throw shade at it, I think shows a boldness with Eric Stover. And, he goes way back with that name. And he's worked for the Red Bulls. I didn't work for a professional soccer team. So they have great experience. These are not newbies in any way, shape, or form. So I think they're going to do a great job. And the fact that we could build this rivalry and be 30 miles away and host their fans and our fans, and that is just so exciting. So I wish them nothing but, like, I hope they have a rabid fan base, because we're building a rabid fan base, and 914th and whatever they're going to call the cosmologists, or, who knows, I'm sure they'll do something great. I just think that, like, you have to understand it's a name, and it's a name that brings attention and stuff. But, like, I find it crazy that Cosmos fans are like, I can't believe they're back, because it's like if the Mets didn't, if you know what it reminds me of? It's like when the Ravens, the Ravens came from Indianapolis, and then the Colts got a new team, right? The Browns were the Baltimore Colts, right? When you start shifting that, it's like they changed names and everything, because, like, what mattered is the team is playing local. It doesn't matter what the name is. So I think it's exciting. I'm sure that the people they have, Giuseppe and Eric and Adolfo, they're going to do a great job. They are way more experienced. I can't wait to see them at the first owners meeting that we're all going to be together, because there is that camaraderie. I mean, we're all trying to build this great product together. We're on MSG. I'm not sure where their TV coverage is. And let me just give that quick shout out. We're on MSG, ESPN Plus. Our next home game is August 1st at 7 p.m. You guys are obviously both invited. You can sit with me and watch me go through. I'll tell you what, you go back to the ESPN Plus. You go to last week at Knoxville. You watch the goal. Listen for the screaming. Me and my son were sitting near the Caravan, and people clearly texted us that they said, are we crazy, or are we hearing Mitch and Braden yelling about that goal? And they were not crazy. There is good sound dampening on those ESPN Plus cameras, because I'm sure we were loud, but there were a lot of families around, and we were just very discreetly cheering on our team. But, that's the kind of, like, we connect with the fans in other places, because to us, we're building a product together, and I'm going to extend the same courtesy. Eric, Adolfo, Giuseppe, come to our games. Let's build a relationship. Let's build an amazing rivalry. let's figure out a good name for the derby. Like with us in Naples, the Snowbird Derby. It's just
Love it.
rolls
Love
off
it.
the tongue, right?
Perfect.
I gave it to our social media manager. She did an @ they did it, and the guy on TV is like the Snowbird Derby. It's like when Dave Carton, our coach, gave the talking point of Westchester Soccer County, and JC scores the first goal in Greenville, and he runs up to the camera, and the guy says Westchester is a soccer county. Like, that is amazing. That you could put an idea out there that just catches fire. So I'm telling you guys in the Cosmos, let's do something together. Let's build something amazing. Let's have the greatest rivalry in the USL, and let's build something wonderful together. And I wish you nothing but luck. And I'm here for anything you could need locally. But so far they haven't reached out. But Eric does come from the Red Bulls, and the Cosmos. So they're really experienced, and I know they have their head down, working their butts off right now. But at the first owners meeting, I'll take them aside and we'll chat. Like I have nothing but the most love for what they're trying to do, and I understand how hard it is.
Yeah, especially coming from an NYCFC supporter, they might be a little, kind of pushing it back a little bit. I get it.
Aaron Patterson, it's just how far can you draw from? But look, we're gonna bring our fans there. I'll make sure I'll guarantee them that they bring their fans. Let's do a good rivalry. But you're still in Patterson. No, I'm just kidding.
I say it. No, but that's the thing. That's the beauty of this all. You're creating something. Frenemies. You're creating it organically. This is just,
The USL's doing a hell of a job. Lee O'Neill, Paul McDonough, the Papadakis family. Can't give them enough credit for having a vision and taking the feedback of owners to really build this iterative, this thing that they're doing, which is, I just think it's going to capture the promotion relegation too. Imagine we're playing Patterson and the team that wins is getting promoted 2 years from now, 3 years from now. That game, neither of us have big enough stadium for that.
No. And that's huge. That's the aspiration that we hope for USL League One.
Rumble. I don't even know what Patterson is now. I'm just kidding. I found it on the map. I didn't realize how far west it was. No. The Montclair Mambo. Come on, guys. You know what? You have me on the show before we play the first game next year. We'll figure out what we'll do is we'll have people.
Love it.
We'll
have people add and come in.
It's really Montclair. Isn't Patterson around there? So no.
Oh my god! We got a year to play with this. We have plenty of time to drum this up, and that's the beauty of marketing. The beauty of branding.
A scarf for your back too. I see ISO. I see NYCFC. By the way, I was a first year holder. I'm on that first scarf. If you look at every name of the founding season ticket holders, but then it's 2 years later, and you're sitting diagonally, and your neck starts to hurt. Yankee Stadium. It's you only go to 2 games where I need chiropractor help. It's. Yeah. I'm this would be great seats if Yankees were playing right now, but I'm kind of it's kind of hard to look at the goal that way. It's a left turn on my neck.
A couple of years, Etihad's coming. It's going to be there. It's going to be a new thing.
That is going to be one of the most beautiful things ever. Please MLS in a dream merge and let's play that. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go to the USL first.
Let's do it. Let's put that out into the universe.
One soccer
Put
table.
it out into the universe.
Look, you can't. If you can't say it, you can't dream it.
That's right.
The MLS and USL one day should find a way to get together and let's have a real soccer pyramid. And US soccer, 300 million people, we should be absolutely on par with every other country.
Or even just a tournament of just the New York teams in Etihad.
We want to do it. We are thinking of. We have spoken because we play them both in exhibition games. We talked to Hartford maybe, and if Brooklyn comes in, championship, you could have a nice 6-team kind of a 6-team tri-state championship.
Completely.
So it'd be nice.
It definitely would be nice.
I'm all about games with MLS teams.
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Let's put it out there. David Lee, if you're listening, let's talk to someone.
Ryan Reynolds too.
We have Ryan Reynolds. We have Cosmos, and we have David Lee.
And Denzel Washington and Michael Imperioli grew up 5 minutes from our stadium. Michael, come on. What are you doing here?
I thought you were all right, Spider. I thought you were all right.
All I gotta say is, Michael, we will give you 1,000 Wabistic shares if you come to one of our games.
There you go.
If you remember the Sopranos Wabistics episode.
There you go. There, Michael Imperioli getting tagged in this video. Yes, just like that. We're gonna make this happen.
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I'm all about fade in with D&Z. I'm on team
Keep
D&Z.
fading it in. I love it.
We got this. We got this 100%. And Principal Majority Owner Mitch Baruchowitz, Westchester SC, thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining the In Route. And if you want to be a member of the In Crowd, if you want to join the In Route, hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on IG at Fade Route Podcast. Drop us a line on X at Fade Route DNZ, and you can be next. So, Mitch, the season is not over. Yeah. You still have plenty of games left on the schedule. Yeah. What does Westchester SC have in store for its supporters?
I think, a few interesting things. An alt jersey coming in late August. A black, I'm just going to tease it by saying it's called the City Blackout jersey. And
nice.
It ties, we are in the shadow of Gotham. So it ties to that we don't have Batman, unfortunately, Damien, but we do have some interesting stuff, an interesting alt jersey coming. And I think August, we have 3 very important games coming up, right? We play Chattanooga, who's second in the table. We're only like 5 points out of a playoff spot. I think you're going to see our team really gel over the last 2 months, come together. I think we're going to make a run. I think we're going to make the playoffs. And if I'm wrong, then, that's another heartbreak. But I think we're going to make the playoffs. I think we have a lot of good soccer left in us. And then it's, really getting ready for 26, building that, just continue in the land. Like, you should expect to see us everywhere in the fall and winter and in early spring, really getting out there with an intern team, with our employees, really trying to connect to the community and bring this joy that a lot of our employees are like me. I try to hire happy people that are really, deep inside have that engine for like, I want to put myself out there and make people happy. And I think all of our employees are like that. And I just can't wait to have like a full going to a post, a preseason with an actual staff and players this year. Woo, a lot less work. So I'm excited. I'm excited for Patterson to come. I think the USL, like the next 2 years, is going to be just such an incredible amount of interest. And I think the league is being built the right way. And what I'll tell people is get out there, give us a try. It's for $200, a family of 4 can eat, buy merch. It's for 3 hours. You can't have a more affordable, great experience in professional sports for 3 hours. Win or lose, we're going to make sure you have fun. We're going to treat you like we value every second of your time. And we're just going to try to make it as fun and as family friendly as possible. And, and you college kids who come back soon to Iona and purchase, we got Dollar Beer Night coming. Don't worry about it. We got Dollar Beer Night. You learn from Pittsburgh people. Dollar Beer Night is a hit.
There you go. You heard it here first from the man himself. Dollar Beer Night is coming. And where can we find all of the community outreach? Where can we find all the updates? Plug away on those socials.
At Westchester SC Soccer Club, right? Westchester, the county, SC, S as in Sam. On Instagram, on Twitter. We have a TikTok account now where we do funny videos. Our new Loni Taimu has a Welcome to Soccer County in Japanese video coming. We're on CBS Sports Network with an episode of USL Excursions Westchester that plays on national TV. Our game this Saturday in Detroit on ESPN2, 7 o'clock. Check it out. We're on the Spokane, forfeit last week. We played them on national TV on September 7th on CBS Sports Network. A lot of exciting things, but you can find us at Westchester SC on Instagram or Twitter. You can hit us at info@Westchester SC if you're a group that wants to do something. If you're a family or a soccer group and you want to bring 20 people, we're here to really be your stewards of soccer energy and excitement. And everyone's just like me. You go in that stadium, I'm sure you saw it, Anthony. Everyone will treat you like you are the most important person in the world, that your kids can do the speed test on soccer kicking, the merch, just go out and wear that badge. Like, this is your team. Like, it has your name. This is the first professional team that has your name on it. Like, this isn't New York City, or this is Westchester and Rockland folks and Fairfield folks. We're open. The doors are open. Like, we feel like it's the Westchester region and we're here for you. And I can't thank you guys enough for caring. And all the fans who have been there, thank you so much. Like, you have made this the most joyous, incredible experience. Hard, but you've made it worth it. So thank you guys so much. And thank you and Damien so much for the support.